Well, hello again, everyone. Good to see you, and welcome to another Bible story. We're looking forward to this one again. Yep, this is another great story from the Bible where we're going to learn about somebody that Jesus met, and he's been thinking hard all week, scratching his head and coming up with all kinds of plans, hasn't he, about trying to work out how to best tell you. So you've got something up your sleeve, haven't you? Yep, and what he's going to do now is he's going to disappear. Not like last week. He's just going to go now and get set up and ready for the next part of the story. Isn't that right? Yep, so off you go. Okay. So let's go and find out exactly what he's up to and what he's got planned for us. Okay, so hello again. I've come out to the back garden because Edgar told me that he would meet me outside. So I've just come out through the back door and I want you to help me try and find him because I know he's here somewhere. So let's see if we can find him. Okay, so here we are in the back garden. So let's see what we can find in the back garden. There's Janice out catching up, enjoying the sun and catching up on her phone. Let's see if we can find anything else. Now keep a good eye out because he should be here somewhere. And he said we'd see him all right. And he said just don't look at the ground. We had to look up as well. So let me see what we can find. Okay. Hold on. Have you spotted him? There he is. Now, why is Edgar up a tree? Not the question. Do you know anybody that Jesus met up a tree? Okay, so Jesus met someone who was up a tree. His name was Zacchaeus, isn't that right? Yep. This man called Zacchaeus climbed up a tree so he could meet with Jesus. So let's read the story. It's in Luke chapter 19 for you to read along. You ready? Okay. Luke chapter 19, verse 1. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but being a short man, he could not because of the crowd. So he ran ahead, climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. Okay, so we're going to stop our reading there. So Jesus meets this man up a tree. He was a tax collector. They really weren't very nice people. They cheated. They stole money from people. They made lots of money themselves and took it from other people. And people didn't like tax collectors at all. Sure they didn't. And Zacchaeus was a tax collector and the people didn't like him. He was also a short wee man, very small. So he climbed this tree to see Jesus. And when Jesus came walking through his town, he spotted Zacchaeus up the tree. And he pointed up into the tree and said, Zacchaeus, come down now. He knew his name. He knew he was up the tree. And Jesus invited Zacchaeus to come down because Jesus wanted to go to Zacchaeus' house and have some food with him. So, let's see the next part of the story. Okay, so here we are in the kitchen this time. And he said the next part of the story we'd be able to see in here. So look, I spot him. Here he is. Look, when you see this, look at him sitting ready to have tea. And look, he's ready for a party. He's got the chocolate out and he's got his two favourite cups. Have a good look at them. Do you know what football team that Edgar supports? Are you able to work that out? And all he's doing is he is waiting for this special guest to arise. Because Zacchaeus came down from the tree and he met with Jesus. There in his house, they sat down and they had a meal together. So Jesus and Zacchaeus sit down in Zacchaeus' house and they spend some time together. and I'm sure they chatted. They probably had something to eat. And let's read the next part of the story from verse 6. Let's continue on to see what happens. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, "He has gone to be the guest of a sinner." But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anyone out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount." Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost." We finish our reading there at verse 10. What an amazing story. Jesus sits down with Zacchaeus, and when they're eating together and being together, suddenly Zacchaeus stands up and he says, "I'm going to pay back all the money I've stolen. I'm going to give away half of everything." And everybody was like, wow, what an amazing change that was taking place in Zacchaeus. Just because he met with Jesus, Zacchaeus' life changed. And all the cheating and stealing and messing about he'd done beforehand, all that bad stuff, Zacchaeus said, "I'm going to stop. From now on, I'm going to live a different life." And Jesus said this. He said, "Today, now, here in this house, salvation has come." Salvation's a big word, isn't it? It just means that suddenly Zacchaeus was no longer guilty. He was no longer a sinner. He was no longer somebody who was had all these problems doing things that were wrong. Now Zacchaeus had found Jesus. And because he'd found Jesus, Zacchaeus had found a much better way to live, a much better way to spend the rest of his life. And that's the story of Zacchaeus. Isn't that brilliant? That Jesus can come and meet with somebody up a tree, then come into his house and change the man's life. That's what Jesus does. He changes our lives. Not right? Yeah, he changes our lives to transform us into the people that God wants us to be. So I hope you have Jesus in your house, in your heart, and in your life all over this weekend and the week to come. Okay, what would we like you to do this week? We've been thinking about that. You saw Edgar at his kitchen table waiting to have a tea party. Maybe you'd like to do that. Take a picture of yourself at your kitchen table ready to have a tea party. Maybe you'd like to include some of your family or some of your favourite toys, and maybe you could send that to us. That'd be good to see. Yep, and the worksheet again's up on the website, so you can have a look at that. And from here at the Manse, we say bye and have a really good weekend.